All right, I think we are almost there, if I don't fall soon. Don't film the parts where I'm like trying to get up on my bike. I'm supposed to be able to do this on a regular basis. It's supposed to look nice and easy, you know? I have to pretend like I know how to paint too, right? You want me painting though, right? Alright, Matt. Do I look like I'm about to fall off the bike or anything? Alright, no, do I look like I'm tilting to the left?
Oh, that's a great question. I think if we knew that, we'd be millionaires, huh? Right off the bat. But I think a champion is a special individual. Has a little bit more than the average, but in this sport in particular, this is a sport where talent is important, but it's not the most important thing. It's your work ethic. It's how much time you put into this. The training is insane when they get to the elite level.
Phil Porter.
Gavin Mannion.
My name is Mark Hagan.
My name is Marvin Wang.
George Adams.
You're on Mango.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Three weeks earlier, Tommy Mannion crashed in a criterium bicycle race. Instead, we spoke with him in a green armchair. Tommy, how do you feel about traffic?
The less traffic, the better. All right. There's Michael and Gavin. That looks like a winning move right there.
Tell us, Tommy Mannion, do you have any interesting stories?
Oh no, you see, I should have been asked that question last night so I could think up what my best stories are.
George?
Good stories, meaning good because they're dramatic and I fall down and hurt myself, or good meaning I did well? I'd say probably the dramatic ones are more interesting.
Oh. Kieran, would you happen to have any parables for the audience?
I probably do, man, but I can't think of any right now.
George?
The one that comes to mind is when I tried to do a Superman on the last lap of a Pro 1-2 in Virginia in front of my 3-year-old and 2-year-old, and they still talk about it. I fell down in front of the field and they ran me over. That was kind of exciting. Broke my collarbone.
Does your wife get you up in the morning?
I don't get it.
Kieran, does your wife get you up in the morning?
I don't get it.
Your wife, does she get you up in the morning?
Go on. I don't get it.
Up.
Yeah. She gets me breakfast and such.
Does she complain?
What?
Does she complain?
Nah. What does she have to complain about?
George, does your wife complain?
No. What does she have to complain about?
Je vous semble fulfill, Baltu, le capot fond. Le but, terre, No, moi. Hello, moi. Ne sais pas.
You gotta say, construction site. Can't hear you.
So they say you were a bagger earlier this season.
What? He's no sandbagger.
And we passed the guy on the mountain bike. All right.
Ah, it says here you were working as a grocery store bagger at a local grocer.
Yeah, I was working at Star Market across the street from my house.
And you decided to race bicycles instead?
Yeah, it was a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting.
When did you first get the cycling bug?
My dad was racing as a junior back in Ireland, and as a kid we used to always go to all the races. And then I guess I just started from watching all the races and watching my dad race.
Do you ever daydream in a race? Do you ever daydream in a race? Do you ever daydream in a race?
Do I ever daydream in a race? Not in a race, but all the time when I train. I'm never not daydreaming when I'm training. And it's always the same kind of visualization, of course. Me winning the bike race. That's always the same, it's just a different variation on a tune.
Daydream about your job, your life, your kid, your wife, what's for dinner. Daydream about it all. Then you gotta be able to remind yourself from time to time that you're actually going 28 miles an hour, 3 inches from the guy next to you.
Racing. I mean, you gotta train to race. I love to race, so obviously you gotta get out there and do the training. Hardest part of the training is, you know, winter, riding in the cold.
There's a tradition in bike racing that I've come to understand, which involves an inordinate amount of time.
You need to put in a serious amount of hours, whether it be for training or learning the mechanics of your bike or skill development, accumulated over years to be able to reach a level of at least competence in bike racing.
Between the months of November and March. And in New England, that commitment obviously happens during winter. And if you get a hardy group that is eager to get some good training in, you find yourselves starting out at 10 a.m. on a cold winter's morning with everything you possibly can find in the mitten bin wrapped onto your body to stay warm, in hopes of not getting frost bitten on your nose, your feet, your hands, or any other important areas.
The whole object of riding is basically so I can race, yeah. Racing is number one.
What must someone do to be successful in bike racing?
Well, I don't know. I suppose the first thing is you gotta love doing this.
Just being on a bike is wonderful, but in terms of racing, I think if you want to be successful in anything, you got to be a student of the activity. You've got to learn what it is that'll make you good.
I would say the most important thing is don't be in a hurry, because this is going to be a long time, long sort of huge dedication in terms of time and effort and even money to get involved with this. So if you want to do this, keep doing it as long as it's fun, and just stick with it, because it may take a couple years before things really start to stick together.
I think a lot of it, maybe 70% is mental. Physical, some guys have natural ability. I don't think that's me. I think I have I just train a lot, so that gets me by. Sure, look, there is a lot of luck involved, but I think you make your luck. So, mostly mental.
Yes, that's interesting, but where does it all start for a champion?
Well, a nice pedigree doesn't hurt. Good gene pool. Some gentle coaching, mentoring, good upbringing. Support, obviously, is a huge component. And I think a very sensible, tactful approach.
A great combination of just innate physical ability, huge amount of drive and hunger, and a lot of luck.
I think you have to have a lot of, to become a champion, you need to have a lot of drive, and you need to want to become a champion.
It takes incredible mental effort, commitment, and desire.
This is a tough sport on kids, so you have to be careful not to overdo it. You hit your prime basically at 27, 26 years of age, not at 15, and not even at 18.
I think it takes a lot of hard work and maybe some good genetics and a little bit of luck.
If passion equals hard work and dedication, and luck is the sort of thing that happens when you work really hard at something, that you're at least 90% committed. You gotta want it. And that extra 10% is a little bit of skill that you throw in that you get from riding a bike when you're 6 years old, doing BMX laps around the house.
How about physique?
In this sport, your physique is somewhat important. It's not everything. You don't want to be too big, you don't want to be too small. So the average, it's a sport that suits the average build guy, but you have to be lucky and have a champion's heart is something I think you're born with. You got to want it. You got to believe in yourself, confidence. I think it's a God gift, really.
Whoa! That guy just rode off the road. Hello? Do you know what's going on?
My name is Gavin Mannion. It's August 12th, and we're at Wells Ave.
Man, that guy just won nationals. Holy jeepers. When I was that age, I was picking boogers in the backyard.
What makes you race?
I'm not sure what makes me race. I just like the competition and like the feeling of winning races, I guess.
Racing is all about winning?
Racing isn't all about winning. I enjoy riding my bike on training spins, but winning's just one part of it.
Man, when you get that first win, it is out of this world. Absolutely fantastic.
Just riding in a race is enough for me. You don't have to win everything, although winning is nice.
Where do you get the will to do it in the knife fight?
In the knife fight, well, that's something, and I think he means by that, he means the sprint, the cut and thrust. That's something I think that's innate and a natural thing in a person. If you're able to sprint, you go for it. You don't even think about it. I myself love the cut and thrust and the sprints, as does my son Gavin. I know he loves it too. I don't know what that is. I think that some people have that, some don't.
Sprinting is fairly unique, I think. it takes a certain person to do a hard sprint. You gotta, first of all, you gotta be decent at it. Otherwise you get shot out the back like I do most of the time.
What are people sprinting for during this race?
Special sprints for these other preems, that, like the Shackley drinks and, I don't know, bagels, whatever. So I think there's someone going to be sprinting every lap in this race. There we go. Which is going to make it very difficult. It's an interval workout, big time. Where's Gavin? Sitting right on the front, going for the first sprint. There he goes. Gets the first sprint. Yeah, we're gonna have a sprinter's race, I think.
What is a sprint like?
It's very dynamic. It's short and intense, 10 seconds, 15 seconds at tops, but it's very intense. And it's pure adrenaline rush.
And do you like the knife fight?
Well, frankly, I'm not much of a knife fighter. I'm more of a runner. My forte has been mostly to break away and win out of a small group or win solo.
As I've gotten older, I've really developed an aversion to doing field sprints, mostly because I'm averse to crashing.
Think about crashing?
No. I'm, if I were afraid to crash, I think I wouldn't race anymore.
Can't ever think about crashing.
If you're thinking about crashes when you're riding races, then you're not going to race. You're just going to stop. If that's in your mind, you might as well just quit the race. But if you're looking at the crash, you'll probably wind up in it. You don't look at the crash. You never put your eye on it. You know it's there. It's right there in your periphery. You're looking where you're going. You're looking at your escape route. You just keep looking where your bike is going to go.
Much bicycling, really? No, it's never too much. It can be too much. You want to be able to maintain that relationship with your spouse.
I'm basically obsessed. That's the way my wife. I think is I love my hobby, but she calls it an obsession. My father, who raced before me, he calls it a disease. Once you get this, it never seems to go out of your system. But basically, it's like your life.
Do you derive contentment when you're riding?
I derive contentment, absolutely.
I do derive a significant amount of pleasure and fulfillment from riding. It's something that is a thing that you do either by yourself or with others, and either way I think you can I am able to pull the fun part of life from it and make it something. It obviously is something I like to do, and since it's a passion of mine, something I like to do, if I'm able to do it with other people or by myself, either way, it doesn't matter. It's a good time, and I'm happy to, I'm lucky to be able to take advantage of those times on the bike.
Yes, racing makes me happy.
I've always enjoyed the team aspect of it. You know, not so much what team I'm on, but who I'm racing with. You know, the people that I can share the experience with, whether it's they that wins or me that wins, or it really has never mattered. It's just as long as we race well together as a team and function as a unit. That's what's most rewarding.
Contentment, that must be the secret. I'm 38, and I've never known it. I'm forever in pursuit, and I do not know what I am chasing.
You've done so well. Any advice for others wishing to be like you?
Follow your life, you know. You don't want to be exactly like me, you want to be like you. Don't be like me, be like you. Do what's good, follow your life, and I'm sure you'll get somewhere. And always be patient with the world. That's pretty heavy.
Advice to be like me, I'd say train hard and enjoy racing. Have fun and do what you feel like doing.
Well, I wouldn't wish anybody to be like me. You know, there are people that are faster than I am.
Be like me? Oh, you don't want to do that. All you have to do is talk to my wife down there. You don't ever want to be like me.
Have a kid. Have a loving wife that's willing to tell you that it's okay to go for a 4-hour ride in January when it's 10 degrees out. And you gotta be willing to make the sacrifices to have a good time, but also to be able to perform, set goals for yourself, mostly realistic, achievable goals, but some completely crazy goals, and get after them.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't be a painter. I quit.
Now, in 1 hour's time, I'll be out there again. I'll raise my eyes and look down that road, the street's width with several lonely seconds to justify my existence. But will I? I have known the fear in losing, but now I am almost too frightened to win.
You came to see a race today. You came to see someone win.
I want you to do more than just watch this piece.
I want you to take part in it.
You experience elation when the winner crosses the line.
How long does that last?
I have no formula how anyone wins in a race. Everyone rides in their own way, or his own way. And where does the power come from to get to see the race to its end?
From within.
From within.
From within?
From within.
From within.
From within.
Then that is how you become a Champignon.
One more, please.
And then for you, that must be frustrating because you're going to literally probably ride by your house, which means that, you know, you could have a car here, and I guess you can work it out though. Does that make sense to me, to you? Probably does.
You know what I mean?
I enjoy all aspects of racing and riding. I've got a tandem, I've got a mountain bike. Just being on a bike is wonderful.
Imagine if the whole bike came out of the trainers and started going across the plank. Through the window, down off the plank.
If it doesn't work out with bike racing, I'll probably go to college and end up getting a job. I'm not sure doing what yet.
That's the way I see it developing, maybe.
Or if you're building a house and you forget to run the plumbing line to the main sewer outtake at the town, and all the you-know-what ends up in the front yard. Can't think about it. You gotta stay focused on one thing, and one thing only, and that's making it to the finish line in one piece, and hopefully pulling off the win of your life.
That, we may have to wait a few minutes here, I think.
But hey, I was still very lucky. I don't remember a thing of it. I remember the guy going down in front of me, and that's it, until I woke up in the hospital. And that bothers me. That's the fall or the break. People were talking to me. They said I was even talking back to them. I don't recall it. Yeah, and that bothers me. Maybe my reactions weren't quite as good. Normally, you know, guys fall in front of me, I can get around them somehow. Or even if I go down, you know, you go down, but you get up. This was just like half an hour out of my life. I don't remember it. I'll be back.